Ladies, let me tell you something. I know I'm not the only woman who heard growing up that I need to focus on my education and not be worried about boys. Now, I was never a boy crazy female in the first place, so that wasn't hard. That wasn't something that I heard often, because I was just doing what I was supposed to do anyways. I wasn't fast. That wasn't really my thing, okay? But it's dawned on me now why the older generation of women and even the older generation of men always used to say that. But I'm going to talk from a female perspective. I'm a woman. I'm for women. I love women, no homo. But I love womanhood. I love sisterhood. And as the eldest of five sisters total, four sisters total, I am very vocal about issues that directly affect us, because I can actually use my experience and my perspective to help others. Okay, there's only so much I can do for men, and that's why I tend to leave men issues towards men, unless it's something that I feel that I can contribute to. Okay, but it's dawned on me that a lot of women, when we hear about relationships and marriages from back in the day, we know that our grandmothers and our mothers and our aunts were getting beaten in these relationships. There was abuse, there was emotional abuse, there was cheating, there was physical abuse. And oftentimes what we forget is that there was oftentimes also poverty, right? And we always talk about, oh, well, you know, women back in the day, they would always be against their men cheating on them and all this kind of stuff, but they would still stay in the relationships. Why is that? Well, remember back in the day, these women oftentimes had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kids with these men. And which woman was gonna go and uproot her and her 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 kids and leave this man because he was cheating? Okay, who was gonna provide for all those kids? You see? And that's why a lot of women stayed in relationships that they had no business being in. And that's why our grandparents tell us to focus on your education, focus on your career, focus on you getting your money so that you have your freedom. Okay? So that when it is time for you to have your children, you have a skill set. You have a means to an end, so that push come to shove, whether the relationship is working or not, you are able to provide for your children, because you cannot always be dependent on these men to do what they're supposed to do as far as coming correct in the relationship, and sometimes coming correct as a father. All right? So remember to put yourself first. There's a lot of girls who are out here who are okay with not taking their financial status seriously, not learning good financial habits, not really considering what career could be a long-term thing for them so that they can continue to have some source of income and educate themselves about multiple streams of income. Okay, there are a lot of people out here in general who don't focus on that or take that seriously. But as women, we have to not allow the critics to get to us, because I know nowadays you have a lot of people who feel like women have become masculinized because we have completely embraced our power. The reason why a lot of females were open to going into the workforce is so that they could provide for themselves and their children and not have to depend on these abusive men to take care of us anymore. That is why we wanted freedom. Okay? And I completely understand that. It is not what the media makes it out to be. I have no hatred against men. I love men. I am a straight woman. I love men. Okay? I do hope to have children and a family one day, but I can say that I took the time to live my life for me. I took the time to build my little savings and my little nest eggs and have my little investments so that I have something for myself. So when it is time for me to get married, I already have a skill set, I have a knowledge, and not only that, I'm bringing something to the table as well. And push come to shove, if it doesn't work out, I know that I can go out on my own and fend for myself because I have done it before. Okay, so take yourself seriously. Do not look for anybody else to save you but you. Only you can save you. Only you can save you. It's the only reason why I even came on here and I'm talking about this, because I was just watching a video where this man finally admitted that his cheating was wrong. And his wife is like, well, cheating is a deal breaker to me, and that's why we're in the situation we're in now, where I want to leave. And to him, it wasn't a big deal. And unfortunately, to a lot of men, cheating is not a big deal, because the weight of sex doesn't have as much emotional burden or impact on a man as it does for a female. The problem is, when you're in a relationship with a female, you got to consider how she feels. So we don't care what you believe. We care about how you feel about us. Are you considering us? And when you go and cheat on us, clearly you're not. You get what I'm saying? So unfortunately, a lot of men don't understand that. And unfortunately, a lot of women do stay in crap relationships because of being scared to go out there on their own by themselves, having to start over from scratch, especially when you got kids. And I get that, but always put yourself first. Always have faith in God, that God always has something better for you right around the corner. And always have a fallback plan. Always know that you don't need for things to go perfect. You just need to know that if anything gets messed up, any relationship, marriage, anything you get yourself into, if it gets messed up, you can always pick yourself back up. Okay? Because too many of us are okay with being victims. Too many of us are settling for being victims, whether it's of emotional abuse, physical abuse, or financial abuse. Too many of us are okay with that, and that is not the order that God had for us. That is not what God created woman for. That is not what we are here for. We are created equal to man. We are equally divine to man. And we have just as much ability, self-sustainability, as any man does. We're supposed to be coming together in a union, as a team, as a partnership, to help one another and bring fruit to our families together. That's what we're supposed to do. So when one is wavering off because he wants to be selfish and share his body and share his self with somebody else, or when homie is not getting emotionally pleased at home, so she wanders off and now she's getting it from somebody else, that's selfishness. That's selfishness. And not every person out here is going to tolerate that. I know I'm not. Some women are more, pliable to where you can probably pull that off. But there are also women like me who are highly desirable, yet the standards that I come with and the requirements that I come with makes me a little bit more difficult to attain. Because you cannot just get me and not do what you got me to keep me. You have to maintain faithfulness with me. You have to maintain a standard with me. You have to maintain your respect for me. I expect your loyalty to be there throughout the marriage. Otherwise, what are we getting married for? Because everything else that you could give me, I already have for myself. So if it's not a coming together in unity, what are we doing this for? If it's not to be synergistic and to be for the better and create more, what are we doing this for? Why go into a marriage if you're going to cheat and take away from the marriage? Stay single. Why go into the marriage if you're going to, before you even have children, not even contribute to the marriage financially, not even contribute to the marriage by a skill set, or at least having some input as to how finances go, how the household is going to expand? If you as a woman don't have a vision for your marriage and for your family, what are you doing? You cannot just rely on these men to do everything, to carry all the heavy weight. There's a reciprocal energy that is supposed to take place within the center of a marriage or any relationship. Okay? So I think what it is some of us need to mature a little bit more before we even get into that concept of relationships and love and all that stuff. Because love is a beautiful thing. Marriage can be a lot of fun. It could be a great thing. But it's even better when the foundation is built properly. It's even better when the foundation is structured properly. Okay? It's nothing, you don't want to build that kind of house on an unstable structure, and then when it all falls apart, you're wondering why. All the flags are always in front of you right in the beginning. You either choose to ignore them or address them and fix them from there, or just reject the person or situation altogether. You have a choice. You don't have to accept everything that comes to you. That's one thing I've learned as a woman. You don't have to accept everything that comes to you. Not every man who talks to you, you need to accept. Not every man who's interested in you, you need to accept. Not every situation or opportunity that comes up, although it may be great, you need to accept. And there are good men out there. There are great men out there. That doesn't mean that I need to accept everything. I don't need to settle or accept everything. The only thing that I am open to accepting is what is good for me. what falls in line with my goal and with my visions, that's on my path that God has set for me. Whatever falls in alignment with what God has set for me is the only thing I'm accepting. Everything else is nonsense to me. And that's just how I see it. So, you know, I love men, I love dating, okay? But I'm not gonna settle for any nonsense. And I want other women to stop too. Because you can't change a man. You don't have the right to change a man. You don't have the right to change another person. You can only change yourself. And if you've been failing on your part as far as having virtue and having a real means to stand up for yourself and defend yourself, protect your dignity as a human being, not even just the woman, as a human being, then you can expect that other people are going to play with you. You know, and that's not a man and female problem. That's just the people with insecurities and poor self-worth problem. You have to understand that your dignity is something that's worth protecting. Your integrity as a human being is something worth protecting. And when somebody launches an attack on you, or when somebody is negligent towards you and causes some destruction to who you are as a person, you need to address that. You can't just let that keep going on because you're afraid of being without them. Nobody is that powerful. Nobody should be your God to that extent. Like, you should be willing to let that person go. Okay? There's peace out here. There's God out here. There's blessings out here. You can fail 100 million times and succeed one time, and it will erase the treachery of everything else that you went through before that. So please keep having faith in yourself, woman. Have faith in yourself.